All right, guys. Happy Sunday, May 1st. The Open already happened. I was trying to get this out a little sooner, but got a lot going on with the family, etc. In any case, this is not like a high confidence setup. I'm not really sure in terms of counting this stuff over here. Yeah, there's so many different ways I could look at this. Now, I mean, this trade did work just based on the way this played out, and where it pulled back to and so forth and so on. But now that I'm really looking at this count, there's a couple different ways it could go. And the thing I don't like is like if this really is a wave three, so it terminated at the 100% fib, that's like it's a little out of proportion. Like that's pretty big for a wave one if that's the wave three. And then if that's the wave five. So, I mean, the best I can do is just measure stuff. That's what I always say. I'm not so great at Elliott wave, but I mean, I know how to measure stuff. And the trick is always like, where are you measuring it and where is it projecting to? So I don't want to get into the weeds here. I'm just going to keep it super duper simple. And just, even though I got a lot of questions about this, the proportions, I got a lot of questions about, I'm just going to leave it alone. And, I mean, this did come up, if this were a 1-2, it came up to the 2-2-3-6. I mean, the way we traded this really well, and now it's coming back, and it looks like it's hanging out where a wave four should be. It came down, needed maybe one more low. I measured this on the micro. It does look like five down to me, with a 4-5. That being five that just happened after the open. You can see it a little more clearly over here on this strat. It came down right at the open. Maybe that's to finish off. If this is a ABC corrective wave, then that finished off 5 of C. It's so micro, it's so nano. Right here, maybe 5 of C, which also it's interesting that both of these time frames, that's an outside candle, which I always view as the stop out candle, like the purpose of a 3. The purpose of an outside candle is just to stop everybody out. So that happened. I wasn't in anything, so that I did nothing to get stopped out. But then the way this kind of came back up, I just went ahead and went long. I mean, it wasn't even so much of a strat entry. It wasn't a technically good entry. It was just based on the price action. So I threw a long on, and then I'm going to stop it at the body of this candle. So I'm risking 18 cents. Okay, just based on where this is and what kind of reaction it had right after the open. That's all. I won't be surprised at all if this comes and stops me out. Fine, it's 18 cents. That's it. So, I don't really know, but if this wants to form another impulse from here and keep it going, then if it's following these fibs, which you could argue at the moment it is. Okay, wave one came to the 382, which is actually, now that I think about it, that's pretty small. I mean, it happens, but right, that's kind of smaller than an ideal wave one. And then if wave three, I don't know, 100, isn't that shallow? Isn't that not big enough for a wave three? And then it comes back, just measuring from there, this is where wave four could be. And the microstructure of this kind of does look like an ABC, with C being 5 waves, which may have just completed. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And, if I get another candle, if it can get above this range, see this, this range right here is really this 15-minute candle. Of course, it broke the bottom of that. But if it can get above this range right here and get a close above that range on a 15-minute candle, then maybe I'll raise my stop to break even. But for right now, maybe it needs to come back. And, I like to keep the stop below the 50% level of whatever range I'm tracking. Just think of it as a Darvis box, So, if this wants to come back, fine. If it keeps going, I'm going to get stopped, obviously. But that's the reason I'm even in this trade, is thinking that maybe this is wave 4. But who knows? And then if you get an impulse, then we can measure to see where wave 5 might project to. But the overall structure, if that is a 1-2, and if that really is 3, and we're really finishing off 4 right now, then it wouldn't be unreasonable for you to think wave 5 could come up 111.13 probably at a minimum, and then ideally get to the 1618 at 113.19. So we shall see. Last thing I'll say, just the daily has a squeeze on it. And the daily, look at this as a Darvis box too, just this range. And, we're above the 50% right now. And, on the micro, right, if this is the wave 4, that whole structure that we're looking at is just right here. That whole entire structure. So this is a tiny little maybe wave 4. So wave 5 would get us up, above, somewhere up in here. Just above that one, just above this candle right here. So, I mean, it's all there. It could happen, sure. And there's a squeeze present too, which is really cool because, let's say this does eventually give a nice impulse up and out of here. And let's say that the daily squeeze doesn't even fire long. It's possible that if it happens quickly, the daily squeeze doesn't even fire, because in that next 5-wave structure would require, if it's going to keep going, it would have some kind of a pullback, and then the daily squeeze might actually be in play to the long side. But even as I say that, I'm just making up stuff because this thing is just chopping on the larger structure. This is the daily zoomed out. It's just chopping. So I don't really have an edge. I'm just trying to trade what's in front of me at the time, and if it looks like an impulse, I just keep moving my stops up. So right now, I'm like, this is not my idea of an ideal trade, but I took it, and we shall see what happens. All right, guys, good luck. See ya. Bye-bye.